Welcome to my channel, my dear Geminis. So we're gonna find out what is going to happen in your love life and in career for the rest of the June. Let's find out the rest 15 days, okay? So when I see these cards that I laid out here, it feels significant, not because everything suddenly changes overnight, but because something that has been building beneath the surface can no longer be ignored right now. Okay, so when I look into the love energy for the month of June, not entirely June, but the remaining of June, I get the feeling that someone is trying very hard to stay in control of the emotions. Maybe it's you, maybe it's them, or maybe both of you have been acting stronger than you actually feel. Because this doesn't feel like a connection where feelings are missing, okay? It feels like a connection where feelings exist, but nobody wants to be the first one to fully reveal that it's them, okay? There has been a lot of thinking going on here. A lot of observing, okay? A lot of trying to figure out what is the person is feeling without actually asking. All right. And Gemini, I feel many of you are reaching to a point where you are tired of guessing and you want clarity, you want consistency. You want to know if what you are investing your heart into is actually leading somewhere. Okay. Your person actually, to me, it seems like they're very guarded at the moment. This is someone who may appear calm, logical, and emotionally controlled on the outside, but what keeps them coming through is that they are feeling much more than they are showing. They're not like emotionally unavailable or something like that, but they're just not showing it. Even if they're feeling a lot inside, they're just silent. Okay, and don't mistake this silence for an indifference, my dears, because the energy here suggests someone has been thinking about this connection constantly. Okay, I also feel there may have been tensions recently between you two, not necessarily a huge argument or anything, just misunderstandings. Okay, there is some distance I can feel here. Conversations that did not go the way either person hoped. It's like two people wanted to be understood, but somehow end up feeling misunderstood. Okay, and instead of expressing vulnerability, somebody chose pride. Either it's you or your person, just relate to yourself. Okay, somebody chose silence. Somebody convinced themselves that keeping their feelings hidden was safer. But as June continues, that strategy becomes harder to maintain. Because I see a lot of reflection happening. Okay? Someone is looking back over everything that has happened between you two. The memories, the effort, the hopes, the disappointments, whatever has happened between you two is getting reflected either your mind or in their mind. Okay? And either one of you is asking yourselves, is this worth continuing? And what's interesting is that I don't see a rushed answer. I see careful consideration. This feels like somebody evaluating the future before making their next move. And for some of you, the next move may involve honesty that hasn't existed in this connection for quite some time. So someone who normally speaks in hints may suddenly become direct. Someone who usually avoids emotional conversations may finally say what they have been holding back, because the emotional walls are becoming exhausting. And eventually people reach a point where protecting themselves hurts more than telling the truth. Now, underneath all of this, I do see anxiety, sleepless nights, overthinking, replaying conversations, wondering whether the right things were said, okay, wondering whether a valuable connection is slipping away. But what stands out to me is that these worries don't feel one-sided. This feels mutual. One person may hide it better, one person may appear stronger, but neither person feels completely detached. By the time June comes to an end, the biggest shift may not be what happens between you and them, but the biggest shift may be within you. Because Gemini, you are no longer willing to settle for uncertainty disguised as love. You want something real, something stable, something that doesn't leave you question where you stand every single day. And that realization changes everything, okay? To be honest, I won't say that this won't hurt you. This will hurt you. But the thing is, you're going to get some clarity. You will have sleepless nights. You will feel that you wasted a lot of time, energy and efforts, but hold on there. This is not the end, because the moment you get clarity about yourself in this relationship, you will have the power over your emotions, okay? You will no longer settle down for less. This is what I'm getting. You are going to thrive after you go through this period, after you go through this lesson, okay? Either way, you are going to receive something, some clarity about this relationship, which is going to open your eyes towards better future, okay, that is waiting for you. All right, my love, don't get disheartened. I don't want you to feel that this is this is going to be a worst month or something like that. But if you have been facing troubles in your relationship, please guard your heart. Try to open yourself towards the person, try to understand their perspective. If you feel this connection is not going anywhere, you have the choice to decide for yourself. All right, let's see what's coming up for you in your career. The first thing I see here is pressure. Not a negative pressure, but the kind of pressure that comes right before growth. Okay, it's almost like you have been carrying more responsibility than usual. Whether you realize it or not, people are paying attention. Friends, managers, co-workers, clients, people are noticing how you perform when challenges appear. And what's interesting is that you are not backing away from responsibility. You are stepping up. Okay, you are showing maturity in your career energy. You are becoming more strategic, more focused. You are least interested in the workplace drama and more interested in results. One of the strongest messages coming through is knowing which battles deserve your energy, because I do see a lot of conflict around you, my friends. There could be competition, there could be politics, someone wanting to be right. I don't know. Just let me know if you are facing any legal issues at work. Okay? But the cards keep reminding you that not every fight deserves your participation. Okay? Winning an argument in the long term are not always the same. Choose the path that protects your future. I also feel, Geminis, looking back over the efforts you have invested during the past several months, the long hours, the sacrifices, the skills you have worked hard to build, and you are asking yourself, when do I finally see the results? Okay, and it's like you have been planted seeds and you are standing there waiting for visible growth. But what I keep hearing is this: don't mistake slow progress for no progress. Okay, a lot is happening behind the scenes, more than you currently realize. In fact, I feel that some of you already being viewed more positively than you know. There is recognition, not necessarily public recognition, but the kind that happens quietly. Okay, decision makers are noticing, people are paying attention. And for some Geminis, conversation around leadership, okay, opportunities, additional responsibilities, or future advancement may begin to surface. The challenge is that you are so focused on where you want to go that you are forgetting how far you have already come. And that's creating unnecessary stress for you, my friends. I see late nights thinking about money here. You are thinking a lot about your goals, thinking about whether you are on the right path. But the message here is simple. Okay, you are much closer to your next level than you think. This is not the chapter where everything pays off overnight, friends. This is the chapter where credibility is being built, where trust is being earned, where foundations are becoming stronger. And by the end of June, many Geminis will stop asking, do people notice me? You will not care whether people are noticing your efforts or not. You know what? And you will no longer care whether you are becoming the capable of handling bigger opportunities or not. So it's like you are able to handle, bigger responsibilities at work. You will no longer question it though. All right. And the final week of June feels like pieces quietly moving into place here. You might not see every change happening right now, but trust that something is being built. And when the results finally arrive, you will realize these weeks were far more important than they seemed at that time. So friends, I wish you all the best for the remaining of the month. July is around the corner and I'm gonna go ahead and do your entire reading for July. So stay tuned. If you like the reading, go ahead and press the like button and leave me a comment. Until then, bye-bye.